scaling up for Web3 companies or GameFi companies.
So we're going to be joined by James, DLTX, who's, he's still there already. Toby Lewis from Novum Insights, Michael Gord from GDA, Srinivas from MetaTrade, and Mark Aspinall from All Star Digitals. And I think we've got an addition on there, Aaron Ting from Octopus.
Hi everyone, I'm still James Haft, I'm still from DLTX. If you're not tired of me yet, you will be after this, but we love you all. We're here going to talk about scaling Web 3.0. So everyone's been talking about what the technology is and adoption, etc. But the real question is, how do we get from here to there? And if you're a company or a protocol, you have an idea, all these ideas start as centralized ideas because all these ideas start in one person's mind, right? So even the most decentralized concept, even Bitcoin, started in one person's mind, right? So decentralization and centralization, they're not absolutes. It's actually, it's a spectrum. And so the question really isn't, are you decentralized? The question is, how decentralized are you, right? And then, how do you get from the initial spark to that community that's vibrant and that's active? And so I think each of the participants up here have a different angle on how they, in their own journey, have gone from their own spark to community. And each one of them, I promise you, has not reached the point that they feel successful or that at their end game. So the real question is going to be, how did you get to where you are now, and then how do we get from where you are to where you want to go? All right. So why don't we start with about 1 minute or less of who you are and what your company is. Merciful, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Aspinall. I'm the COO of All Stars Digital. Now, All Stars Digital is a business that takes human performance, indexes, and then provides a tradable instrument for people. So currently, we provide live pricing on 4,500 footballers from the top leagues in Europe, as well as the leading cricket players from the IPL. We are a live business. We've been live for 3 months now, and we are currently in the position of probably making around 51,000 transactions this month alone, on around a 400% month-on-month growth curve.
Fantastic. Sri?
Yes, hi. I'm Sri Shenoy.
Talk louder.
Yes, I'm Sri Shenoy, founder of MatterTrade.com. So we find trades that matter. So essentially, we all know the Web3, all the crypto assets are traditionally move based on the online sentiment. The influencers on YouTube or Twitter really move the market. So we find what crypto or NFT or even stocks are trending on YouTube so that you can make those trades, you can get in early. We find the trends before they happen. We all know how some of these trends really catapult these assets astronomically. So we find those opportunities early. And then we also have a Web3 component where we take all this data and we put it on blockchain. So we are a Web3 decentralized data oracle for market trend and sentiment so that smart contracts can now use that data to create DeFi applications. Just like Chainlink that took the exchange pricing and put it on blockchain, we're doing that for market trend and market sentiment. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Toby Lewis from Novum
Talk
Insights.
louder.
From Novum Insights and Metalink Capital. We're a data provider that scans every single decentralized exchange like Uniswap, SushiSwap. Also go exploring other blockchains like Stacks and are interested in the community building element of these things so we can help people get in really early, do technical analysis on which projects, tokens are interesting in these groups, and then figure out how investors and others can cherry pick the ones most likely to scale and those that are likely to get big.
Aaron?
Hi, I'm Aaron Ting from Octopus Network. What we are is we're a multi-chain network that's built on Near Protocol. So we're looking to provide scalability solution for GameFi projects. We're a full ecosystem with incubator, accelerator, as well as developer training, grants, so on and so forth.
So let's talk about how you got to where you are now, how you got from zero to whatever, talk about what scale you've reached now and how you reached that scale. Aaron, why don't you start?
In terms of scaling for our own multi-chain network, we've been very fortunate because our design is based on a near protocol. So essentially, what we're like, how different we are from Polkadot and Cosmos is that we have decided to choose a layer 1 as our hub for DeFi because it has composability. So we're not a blockchain, we're a service that helps substrate chains deploy their validators on near protocol. Now through this design, we're able to scale to theoretically unlimited blockchains. And we can also support not only Substrate but also Cosmos SDK, and that's how we scale. And so we've been able to piggyback on a larger protocol, and because of the collaborative nature of our approach. So for example, we are the recipient of a grant by Cosmos to build the bridge between IBC Palette for Substrate, essentially the bridge between Cosmos and Polkadot. We also have a grant from A-Star, which built the bridge from A-Star to
right
Immutable
now, how do you measure? I didn't do it. So how do you measure how large you are now? Is it by transactions, by projects, and how did you get there? How did you solicit people and get them to actually use your protocol?
So essentially, we provide services to applications, right? So how we measure our community size is by the number of projects that we onboard. Our tokenomics.
So what is that number?
Right now we're at 2. We started in mainnet in October, and by the end of this year we have 25.
Oh, fantastic, Toby.
Yeah, no, fantastic, James. So as you well know, we started tracking Uniswap, so got really, really excited about Uniswap version 2 when it first came out, and just all the data that the decentralized exchanges were throwing off. And from there, we decided to track every single pair, as well as on Uniswap, on SushiSwap. What became quite interesting when we developed that tool, a high net worth came along and said, that's really, really interesting. Can I invest in your company? And can I also give you some money to manage? So we've been helping cherry pick on behalf of now a fund, pretty good projects on the decentralized exchanges, looking for using data insights for alpha. I think that what we're interested in is how the decentralized exchanges and trading data marry up, as well as with underlying blockchain data. So we've also started building block explorers in places like Stacks, and so we're going across all the Ethereum virtual machine areas, which scale very, very nicely because they plug in together. But like my colleague on the right, we're looking at how you go into different ecosystems. So we've invested in a Polkadot ecosystem fund. We're looking at how we can move from Stacks to Polkadot to Cosmos to all of the other exciting blockchains, as well as going across the so-called EVM layer. And I think it's a super exciting stage right now because everything's colliding together, and we're looking to gather as much data as possible to allow people to understand everything that's going on in the crypto world.
Just a brief advertisement. Toby's company is called Novum Insights, and it is the best source of data on DeFi that you can. His product is he makes you smarter. Sri.
So we are currently a Web 2 company. We are AI technology. We find what's trending on different platforms, and we are transitioning that data on Web 3. So we haven't started our own Web 3 journey yet, but we soon plan on doing so. And some of the metrics we want to measure is how many nodes are running Matter network, how many data, or how pervasively our data is being used by smart contracts, transaction volume, number of transactions, and so forth are the key metrics we want to look at to determine how decentralized we are.
And how will you get people to use the platform? What's the marketing plan?
For the Web 2 component, I think everybody that watches YouTube, I think it's fair to say, everybody here has learned a thing or two about tokens that they want to invest in, or about the timing from YouTube. And it's really, a problem that resonates with people when I say, hey, there's hundreds of videos that get uploaded every day that move the markets, but you as a human, you only have limited amount of time, so why don't you let our AI watch it for you? So it's a problem that easily resonates with people. And then I think lots of, we have partnerships lined up with YouTubers that really like our product, and there are exchanges that like what we're doing. So I think some of these key partnerships are how we are planning to really go from zero to, hit the ground running in terms of getting the users.
And Mark, you mentioned 50,000 transactions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were founded 2 years ago as a Web 2 business. And we have developed our big data AI approach on Web 2, and we are now transitioning into the Web 3 environment. So we right now have offices across Dubai, Lagos, Santiago, and we are transacting 3,000-4,000 trades a day. We're expecting 51,000 trades this month, real fiat money. Now, what's unique about our product and interesting is that our user base are individuals. Our user base are sports fans, they're traders. So we're not only just servicing the Web3 environment, we're actually bringing people from outside, inside. And that number is billions, not hundreds of millions. So we've already started building communities across our various offices and regions. And the excitement behind a product that enables you to trade something you, to be honest, give a damn about, because euro dollar, how exciting is that really? But if I can trade Messi, everyone has a view on Messi, Ronaldo, etc. And all we simply do is give them a simple application in order to utilize and monetize that view.
So I think that to me the key word for success is community, right? And so what's the hardest thing about what you're doing right now? What's the thing you need to solve that opens the gate?
Community is a very interesting term. We talk about hundreds of thousands of people in the community, but is that just people collecting community and numbers? Community ultimately resides with engagement, activity, response. And what we found is having a product that is emotional, that's passionate, such as sport, that community becomes much more engaging. Whereas a new protocol drop, a new sidechain, etc., we have the ability to engage someone in yesterday's football match, which is hugely, hugely exciting, and then bring them on the journey at an element that they can relate to. Because for us, blockchain, Web3 is an enabler. It is not the end game. The enabler that enables us to reach clients globally. Our market is heavily focused on the emerging markets, where by its very nature, blockchain is already growing because it's more consistent, reliable than the underlying fiat infrastructure. And that is a market that we are keen to follow and grow by engaging them, not with protocol and frankly confusion, but simple metrics of how they can benefit from our product.
We have 5 minutes left, so each of you guys got like a minute and a half. Talk about the biggest problem you're facing right now in growing your business, your community.
So building the community in Web3 is a critical, because unlike the Web 2, which can really rely on a lot of centralized marketing, centralized tools that are available for age-old, getting more business, Web3 is fundamentally community-driven. Right from Bitcoin, which with absolutely no marketing, overcoming all the negative press, really came about because of the community members. So you have to build a product that get people so excited and so moved that they want to tell everybody about it. And it's really not an easy feat to do, to get people to talk about your product, to get them to be your spokespeople, and then go around, get everybody, do the recruitment on your behalf. So it is a challenge, and we are learning. I think the key is solving something that's very emotional to them, like you mentioned, that solves a very deep pain point. So we are learning, and I think how to build that community.
Toby?
Yeah, no, 100%. I also view the community element of these different early blockchain ecosystems a bit like how the infrastructure layer is built. So we were spending a lot of time in the mainnet Ethereum ecosystem. So in mainnet Ethereum, you've got all the DEXs. You've got MetaMask, you've got Curve, you've got like Uniswap, SushiSwap, all these different layers, and then you've got Etherscan and ways of understanding that. And then a lot of the developers, one of the big moats of Ethereum and other groups is everyone is building on Solidity as a smart contract language. We had a really, really interesting experience when we raised some investment from Stacks and began building a block explorer on Stacks. And we kind of got over there, and there was no DEX. There was no NFT marketplace. There was no block explorer, or a very rudimentary one. And the wallet, you still can't access the wallet on mobile. So what was really fun about that is we were helping them. We basically realized that we'd very quickly become like almost a core infrastructure component of this new blockchain. I think it's probably true of most blockchains that are non-EVM. So Solana, even Solana, which is massively well-funded, Polkadot, Cosmos, everyone is building the rails of that community right now as we speak. And what we want to do at Novum is slot ourselves into different things of these new communities. And the reality is you've got to analyze every time you go into a new blockchain how quickly that community will actually be able to build out the tools that you need to operate. And it's going to be very, very hard to dislodge mainnet Ethereum and the EVMs. But we know this is tech, right? And everything moves super fast. So maybe EVM world is the Yahoo of blockchain. So really interesting space, but there's a community war going on right now.
Aaron?
Thanks for all the panelists for the absolutely wonderful perspectives. Yeah, I really appreciate it. So I come from a community building background. I co-founded the Blockchain Association in Malaysia. So for me, community is really like, shouldn't be misunderstood as like a marketing tool, right? Now I totally agree with the infrastructure that you need for layer ones, and Neo Protocol is very aggressive in building that. But other than that, for our project, in our marketing team, we've hired 5 people from our ambassador program. And all these guys are from the community. So what I believe is that at the end of the day, we're working on a decentralized project. So that means that the most active, most willing participants and the volunteers should be given the opportunity for a career path. Because this is Web3, it's totally open. This is how we differentiate ourselves. So I think that part is absolutely important. We have not only hired 5 of them, but we've discovered some talent, and they're performing critical roles. So that's my perspective. But since we're on the GameFi stage, I like to say that one of the key bottlenecks for GameFi is actually a guild management software system. What do I mean by that? Well, as you know, YGG is a pretty large guild, and they are having scalability issue because they're manually managing like every NFT asset, so on and so forth. So I think that there are several things that GameFi needs, particularly for us. A decentralized guild management system is heavily required. No guild should be managing 10, 20 GameFi projects, and in each of them is a various community. There should be one single platform on which a guild can manage their community members, and there should be one onboarding for every single player.
So I agree with you that the guilds need management systems. I disagree in centralization as the solution.
it will be built as a decentralized guild management
Right,
software.
right.
Because the
But
only
even
one.
centralizing on one platform to me is a mistake, because if that platform is a mistake, you have no competition and you have no plan B.
Yeah, exactly. So decentralized means open source.
Right.
So anyone can deploy it, just like the concept of blockchain.
Right.
So this is what we mean by that.
I love you, don't worry.
All right.
All right. So, guys, thank you. Greatest thing about this industry is I wake up every morning and I know that I'm going to deal with people who are faster, smarter, and better looking than me every day. And this panel was another example of that. So thank you guys so much for being it. I really appreciate it, and have a good day.
Cheers, James.
Thank you, guys.
Fantastic.